So one of the most fulfilling things about being a self-sufficiency farmer is being able to plant things and harvest at the end of the day. And today we are going to take you along with us as we harvest a lot of things from the farm. Actually, today we're going to harvest quite a lot. And maybe you're wondering, how come you guys are always harvesting? Every time we see you, you're always harvesting something. And that's because of the way we've planned our farm. We've planned it in a manner that we always get something to harvest every other time on the farm. And what this means is we stagger the way we plant our crops. So for example, we'd have crops maturing in a month, and then others maturing in 2 months' time, and others in 3 months. So that way we always have something to harvest on the farm. And I also promised to give a review of the orange flesh sweet potatoes. So stay tuned in because we are going to also give that review in this video. We hope that you're going to enjoy. Come along with us as we enjoy the harvest from Taraji Eco Farm. Yes, so today's video we are going to start harvesting carrots. We have a few patches of carrots. This is the first that is mature. Then we have another one that will mature like maybe in 3 weeks or so. Then another one that will mature in like maybe a month and a half or so from now. But these ones we are suspecting they are ready. And by the way, this is African nightshade. I've been getting rid of them from the farm. They are very stubborn and it's refused to be pulled from the ground. So let's see what we have for the carrots. So we had checked a few. You can see the base. It looks very wide. It looks very wide. You can see the base. It looks very wide, and that's why we are suspecting they could be ready. Let's just pull this first one. Oh, wow, this is nice. They're they're very big. They're bigger than the last carrots that we planted. And I don't know how many of you have experienced. Our kids like eating raw carrots, but when we cook them, they don't eat them. So I'm very sure that today they'll be very happy to eat some raw carrots. We're not going to harvest everything because, as we said, we always come to the farm. Tomorrow I'll come and get some more. So we'll just get what is enough for today. So I'm actually loving the growth on the carrots. Imagine this place we never used to plant anything because we thought because it's very near to what are they called, blue gum trees, never used to produce anything. But this time around, before we put in the carrots, we had put in a lot of compost. And I think that's why the carrots have done well. We've tried growing other things here before, and they didn't do well. Wow. Let's get a close-up of this one. So I really, really love this. Look at how fat they are. It's quite nice. So what we usually do, these leaves, we are going to feed to the rabbits, these carrot leaves, so nothing goes to waste. If we didn't have rabbits, probably would have composted them. But since we have rabbits, the rabbits will feed on them. So here we have some purple lettuce. The funny thing is that I planted, the seeds that usually plant have both purple and green, but for some reason the green ones, even the new seeds that have started, they're not green lettuce, but the purple ones are what we've been harvesting. I'll give you a clip of what we've been harvesting. But so far we only have like 4 plants and one small green one here. Then we've started some other like maybe 10 plants. We don't usually plant a lot of lettuce. Previously used to plant a lot, but we noticed that we don't consume that much. So we reduced the number. So between 4 to 10 plants are enough for us on the farm. So here we have our 2 chamomile plants, and we've been taking chamomile tea. It's a very nice flavor. I'm not quite sure about the benefits of chamomile, but just like it. And I think it's by the time we got the plant, it was almost flowering because they've been here less than 1.5 months or so. I don't quite remember, but they're already giving us flowers. So we're really enjoying the chamomile. And next to the chamomile, we have our sweet potato that we want to harvest. In our last video, we also harvested sweet potatoes. And as we harvest these ones, I'll give you a review of the orange flesh sweet potatoes. So the first thing I'm doing is just removing the vines. So these ones have been here, I think for 1.5 months. And we think they could be ready. So we are done removing the vines. So now let's look for sweet potatoes. Please pray. Oops. Okay. So we do have sweet potatoes. Now, this is the first time we are harvesting sweet potatoes from this bed actually. So let's just keep checking. These are the normal ones we usually plant. I think we could also have a few orange flesh because I planted both of them. Yeah, so let's keep looking. So I found some orange flesh. These ones. Maybe it's time to give a review now. So now I've gotten one orange flesh. I think it's time to give a review. So when we bought the orange flesh sweet potatoes from the supermarket, just bought I think one or two, a big one, which we used to get slips, which we were planting in the other bed that you saw. And the reason why we had bought them is because we knew that orange flesh are some of the sweetest varieties of sweet potatoes. So last week we harvested them, and man, they were not what we expected though. Maybe we got the wrong variety, but the taste was very underwhelming, first of all. They didn't taste like our regular sweet potatoes. The sugar content was so low, both for the very mature and the very young ones, because at some point you were arguing maybe we let them mature too much or something, but both the mature and the very young ones were tasting the same. So, and the other thing is they take a very uh, they take a very short duration to cook compared to the normal sweet potatoes that we usually have. Very short duration. The taste was not that good for us. We actually think it tasted more of a pumpkin than a sweet potato. And we tried to cook it differently by making some chips and roasting them on the oven with some spices. And that was a bit better, but still, it's not what we expected. I don't know what your experience has been with the orange sweet potatoes, orange flesh sweet potatoes. We don't know the variety we have. So we'll give these ones another try. We'll see whether they are any different from what we had. I don't know what could have happened, but our expectations were not really met by those orange sweet potatoes. So actually what happened is even the vines that we had replanted, we ended up picking most of them and planting the normal ones, and then just retaining a few orange flesh to keep trying and see whether we get a different taste. We don't know what happened, by the way. Tell us your experience. Yeah, so we just finished harvesting sweet potatoes from here. It's not like what we had expected because the vines were looking healthy and all that. Maybe we should have pruned a few, but we've gotten some sweet potatoes, uh, and that's okay because it's the first time we are harvesting sweet potatoes from here. I'm not sure we'll put the vines back here. I might we might decide to grow something else here, but for now we'll leave it as is, and then we'll come and make it sometime later. But yeah, so now let's go to harvest some spring onions, then we do some more harvests. Yeah, so we are going to harvest the spring onions on this bed, but before I do that, we have this amaranth that is time to go, so that it can give space to the other things. We do have smaller amaranth of the same kind on this bed. Oh my God. Hey! Whoa, look at those roots. My God, look at those roots. So it's produced seeds, and we have smaller amaranth growing on this bed. That's why we thought should let it go so that it gives some light to the others. Then I can see we have some leeks just next to it. We had some leeks and some more. Then you can see we have smaller carrots. As like I said, we do have smaller patches of carrots that will mature at different times. So let's now pick the spring onions. So these spring onions are almost being overpowered by the amaranth. So it's time for them to go. Oh wow, look at that. It's time for them to go. Look at how healthy they are. I think there's one more batch. Yeah, so this is what we've got from this bed. And now we'll go harvest some bananas. So this is the banana we are harvesting today. And it's so tricky because it's next to the fence. And the bunch is usually very heavy. So we have to strategize so that we don't destroy the fence. Yeah, let's see how we'll do it. Huh. Huh. Okay. You okay? What happened? So now we are done harvesting the banana. We needed a bit of manpower. You can see how big it is. Luckily, we didn't spoil the fence, and that's good. So now we are going to harvest some more items, but on the other farm. So we'll take like 5 minutes to go to the other farm, then we'll show you what you're going to harvest there. So now we're on the other part of the farm. 2 weeks ago, we realized that a lot of our maize has been stolen. And the way they do it, let me just show you. You can see where I'm standing. Okay, here probably it's erosion. But what they do, they cut the stem at the very bottom here. At the very bottom. So we came like about 2 weeks ago here. We noticed the maize was sparsely populated. It's not like us to plant maize like that. You can see it's very sparse. So we did a bit of And actually, our neighbor had harvested their maize because they said theirs were being stolen. So we also had suspicion that ours was being stolen as well. And that's how they do it. They just cut at the very bottom. They even carry the stalk itself, you know. I know in some areas they just harvest the maize and leave the stalk, but here they take the stalk as well. And they cut the stalk in a manner that you will not know. If you're not very careful, you will not know they've stolen your maize. But as we notice, because we can tell a lot, a lot of our maize has been stolen. And the reason we couldn't harvest yet was because it was not very dry. So yeah, things like that happened in the village. Unfortunately, it's not fenced. It's very far from our home. Not very far, like 5 minutes walk from our home. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll get some maize. So we are removing the maize now. Some of it is not very dry, but we'll dry it on our front yard. This is going to take a lot of time because this is just the first section with maize, and we have like 2.5 more sections. We have 1.5 more sections with maize. We are not even halfway the first section. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Usually, when we harvest the maize, we usually remove it from this, what are they called? I don't know. But today we are not doing that. One is because the ground is a bit wet. We'll be removing them on the upper part of the farm. And secondly, because we are going to feed this to our goats. So we started keeping goats, and now we have things to consume. A lot of the maize, what is it called? What are these things called? People? I don't know. And some of the maize is actually rotten. Like this is rotten. So yeah, I think we'll get a good harvest for maize. Given that this was the section with the most unhealthy maize, so we've not yet gotten to that other section with healthy maize. These ones are smaller and all that, but they are still quite sizable. They were also stolen, but yeah, at least the thief didn't steal everything. What can we say? These are some of the challenges that you may expect to go through when you start your self-sufficiency life. So the next thing that we are going to harvest is arrowroots. And we love arrowroots at the farm so much. And you can see how big they are. Uh, in this place we've harvested arrowroots once. And arrowroots do very well in this area. Uh, Actually, a lot of farmers have started planting arrowroots on their farms. So it's a very good thing because it's a substitute for the usual carbohydrates that they intake, which is something that we do at Taraji Eco Farm. So I think they are ready. I think the last time we harvested them was early this year. So let's get some arrowroots. Wow, one looks big. So currently this is the the oldest patch of arrowroots that we have, the one that's ready to eat. I think the others should be ready in like 2 months, and then others after that. Wow. Whoa. Oops. That's a humongous one. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Huku ndo mazi zinafanya fiti yani. Whoa. What? Wow. Whoa. What? This time around, they are not small ones. So this is the final arrowroot harvest. Wow. It one has a lot of roots. So we always replant back uh, that remainder, and it will give us an arrowroot next time. Oh, what's this thing? So look at this amazing arrowroot harvest. The second harvest that we've had from this area. All the arrowroots are so huge. So huge. Very unexpected. I think they've been here maybe 4 months, 4.5 months. They're quite huge. We are so excited about this harvest. So by the way, how we prepare our arrowroots is we usually boil them and then we shallow fry them with some salt. Very nice. To make them crispy, so they're usually very nice. So you can try that as well. For us, we are really amazed by this harvest. Wow. It's, I think, probably the biggest we've had. We only had 2 harvests from here. So I think it's the biggest so far. So it looks like we underestimated the amount of effort, and even the harvest here on this lower section, which we had the unhealthiest maize. You can imagine this sack is almost full, and it's just from this batch only that you've gotten the maize. we have this other batch, we have another one there, another one there, and these are the maize that is yet to be cut. So we just we'll need some help. So we've called someone to come and assist us so that we'll be able to finish this lower section today. Then the other section can be done another day. So guys, today was a very, very eventful morning, and we're actually very grateful for what we have today. We started off by harvesting carrots. Look at the size of carrots that we harvested. Very fat carrots, and we are going to be harvesting carrots from the same patch probably over the next 2 weeks or so. So we harvested carrots, then we harvested sweet potatoes, harvested leeks, some spring onions. Then we we harvested the banana, this humongous banana that will take us some time to finish. Then we harvested arrowroots from the other farm, very humongous arrowroots. We are very proud of these arrowroots. They were just on the ground for 4.5 months. So I guess the soil in that area, arrowroots actually really do well. Maybe we should increase the number of arrowroots on that area. Although we have, I think, 4 to 5 patches of arrowroots at different stages, but this was the biggest. I think the next one should be ready in 1.5 months or so. Then we harvested the maize. So you can see we have a mix of both yellow and white maize. The maize we've harvested from only one section. We still have a lot more maize to harvest. So this section had both white and yellow maize. The other section, we estimating it's about 90% yellow maize. So majority of the other maize that we're going to harvest will actually be yellow maize. Yes, so we are really amazed by today's harvest. I mean, this is what self-sufficiency looks like for us. I don't know what it looks like for you, but for us, we're always grateful to be able to harvest a lot of things from our farm. So we hope that you enjoyed today's video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the best channel in self-sufficiency. And we hope to take you along on our journey. And you can also share your experience on the comment section. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.